Okay, competitive exclusion principle. Direct competition between different species almost always produce a winner and a loser. Like for example, two teams are playing in the ground, right? So one will win, other will, right? Okay, other will lose. So one will be winner and other will be loser. So two types we have, same in the organism. Like let's suppose you have an area, you have a garden, or you have a grazing area, and there are, let's suppose you live 50 goats, right, or 50 sheep. But the food which is present in that area is not enough for 50. It is enough just for 25 or 30. So they will fight, they will compete. The one which reach first, it will eat, right? So first 30, which can run fast, which can eat fast, right? Which are strong, so they will eat. Rest of the 20, they cannot eat because there are food only for 30. So one day it will happen, second day it will happen, third day it will happen. So what will happen next time? That the one which are leaving behind, which are not competing, they will die out. They will die out. The one which can get the food on a time, they can compete, they are strong enough, they can run good enough, to mean they will survive, right? One series of experiments demonstrate this using two species of single cell organism. When the species were grown in a separate culture under the same condition, each survived. This is an experiment, right, which is shown that let's suppose there are single cell organisms, that organism which are made from what? Which are made from only one cell are called what? Are called single cell organism. Those organisms which are made only from one cell are called single cell organism. So now this experiment was taken out. This experiment was taken out in the laboratory, right? In the scientific laboratory, that the single cell organisms were grown separately in two different cultures, right? Like you can say in two different culture plates or two different glass whatever, right? So both of them survive because each glass or each plate contains food and nutrients for both them, for both the organisms, right? But later on, what was happening? Later on, both the organisms were grown in a same plate. On the next experiment, both the organisms were grown in the same plate. So when they were grown in the same plate, so one organism was what? One organism was strong, other organism was not strong. So the one which was strong, it's get the food. The one which was not strong, it didn't get the food. Right? So what will be the result? The strong one will survive. The weak one will die out. Right? But when both the species were grown together in the same culture, one species outcompeted the other. The less competitive species did not survive. So the one which took the food, it survived. The one which didn't compete, so it died out. So it happened the same. If you hear the story of dinosaur, right? Did you hear the story of dinosaur? Do we have dinosaur now or not? No. We don't have, right? Why?
Because it's gone.
It's gone, right? Why it's gone? Because it didn't compete the environment. It didn't compete the environment. It didn't modify itself to the environment. So if you're not competing, if you're not running, so then you cannot survive. Right? For example, let's suppose 20 students are in the class. Out of 20, 19 students are competing for exam to get 50% mark to go to the next class. Right? But one student is not competing. So what will happen? He will remain in the same class. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and third year, the parents say you don't want to sit, just take him from the school. So he will not survive. But 19 are struggling, they are competing. So if you are competing, you will go ahead. You can survive. If you're not competing, so you will go out. Experiment like this one, along with the observation in nature, led to the discovery of an important ecological rule, the competitive exclusion principle. Right? So the experiment which was did on the single cell organism, so it led to the discovery of a statement, ecological statement, which is the competitive exclusion principles, which state that no two species can occupy exactly the same niches in exactly the same habitat at exactly the same time. That no two organisms cannot occupy the same place, the same habitat, mean the same place in which they are living, the same type of food, the same type of shelters, all their requirements applied will not be same. They will be different so they can survive. If it's same, so they cannot survive, right? Only one of them will survive, other will not survive. You get the point? That no two species, no two organism cannot be the same, right? Two organisms cannot have the same requirements of life. They will have slightly different requirements. If two species attempt to occupy the same niche, one species will be better at the competing for limited resources and will eventually exclude the other species. So if two species, like for example, I will give you an example of first position. If I said that we will have only one first position holder in the class, right? And you are 20 students, what will happen? All the 20 will compete for position 1, right? All of you will compete. But who will get? The one which study more, the one which is going to work hard, the one which is strong. So that one will get, rest of other, they will not get. Right? So only one. If two persons are competing for position 1, so one will win, other will not. Right? So only one can be here. So that is almost similar to that of the competitive exclusion principle. As a result, if we look at the natural communities, we rarely find species whose niches overlap significantly. So there are certain organisms, right, uh, which are rare, right? They are living in the same niches, but it is not too much. Now you understand competition? Competition.
Yes.
Okay. The next point which we are going to, that is about what? That is about the dividing resources. So dividing resources is almost same like these all topics are same to each other. Dividing resources. Anyone can say about dividing resources?
Dividing resources.
Let's divide two things together.
Resources mean food. Simply, right? We are studying related to the foods.
The food.
Related to the food. But you can just share generally.
Yeah, it's the food. We take a bit food and we know the.
Mhm. Why are you letting them come here? Come close.
Dividing the food here.
Come close. Why? Dividing resources. Instead of competing for similar resources, species usually divide them. Right? For instance, the three species of North America were shown in the figure. Like you can see on the page 101, three types of birds are shown. Right? Like let's suppose if we are having resources, right? And the same resources, instead of competing, instead of fighting for their resources, we are doing what? Instead of fighting for these resources, we are dividing it. Right? Like let's suppose uh, we are having, you are now 1, 2, 3, 4. You are 8, 9 students in the class, right? And I have 4 apples. 4 apples. So if I give you to take one, right? If I put it here on the table, you take one. So those students which are near, which can run fast, they will take. But instead of this, if you are going to divide it, you are 8 students and I have 4 apples, and I get to divide it. So what you will do? Yes, 2% will take one, and you will cut it to half. So mean all the problem solved, right? So it comes to all half. So the same we have in the living things, in the other organism. Experiment it show in the North America, the 3 type of birds are there. 3 type of birds are there which show the dividing resources. All live in the same trees and feed on insects. So 3 type of birds we have. Warble we have, bay warble we have, and yellow warble we have. 3 types of birds we have, right? And they are living on what? They are living on the same trees, and they all are feeding on the insects, right? But one species feed on a high branches, another feeds on the low branches, and another feeds in the middle. So they divide the trees in three parts, right? Like, let's suppose the tree is 30 meter, right? The tree is 30 meter, 25 meter, or 60 meter. So take it, let's suppose 60 meter. So one type of birds, they will only feed from the top, right? From 40 to 60 meter above. They will not come to the middle. Another group of the birds, they will feed or they will eat the insects in between 40 and 20. Another group of the birds, they will eat the insect which is present from 1 to 20. So they divide what? They divide the resources, they divide the area of the plant. The resources utilized by these species are similar yet different. Therefore, each species has its own niches. So these three birds we have, right? They have its own niches. One is from 1 meter to 20, other from 20 to 40, other in the top. So three different habitats they have, three different niches they have. This division of resources was likely brought about by the past competition among the birds. By causing species to divide resources, competition helped determine the number and kinds of species in a community and the niches of each species occupied. So, as far as I think, this one dividing resources is better than the competition, right? In competition, the weak organism will die, and dividing resources, most of the organism will survive because they will be limited just to their own niches, to their own place. We are, like for example, if we take about ourselves, right? So mostly we are also learned about in dividing resources, right? Like we have some circumstances, we cannot go out from it, right? So we are just using their resources. Everyone has his own resources. Like if you look to the job, like you are doing a job, right? You are getting how much pay from the government? 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. So this 10,000, 15,000, there is resources, right? You have to fulfill your needs in that 10,000, 15,000. So that is dividing resources, right? Some are taking 10,000, some are taking 5,000. Like let's suppose there is a business and it's earning how much money? It's earning, let's suppose, 100 million. 100 million is earning, but there are 10 people who are working, right? So out of 100 million, each will get 10 million, right? So this 10 million, they are divided. They are divided into 10 million. So now everyone has its own resources. Everyone will utilizing his own 10 million, right? This is the diagram, right? Like in one part, one type of birds, another part, another type of birds, and lower part, another type of birds. So they will only utilizing the food they will eating. Sorry?
To share something.
Yes, but specific, right? To be specific.
Yes.
So this three type of the same trees. The one tree is divided into three categories, are the three places, three niches: top, middle, and lower. Three different type of bird. So they are eating only their own foods.
Mr. Good.
This bird is good for
Insects.
Mr.
Yes.
They eat insects there or the tree?
No. Insects. If you look to the trees, so trees has a lot of insects, right? So the birds will not eat the tree. They will eat the insect present on the tree.
Yeah.
Yes. So this bird, the first one, right? This bird will eat the insect which is present till this place from this area, right? The second bird, it will eat only in this area. The third, it will eat only in this area. I give you the example of how many meters? 60 meters.
Mr. They are cutted and making one Mr.
5 meters.
Look here. No, they're not cutting. Just leaving. Like for example, as I told you, this I give you the example of 60 meter, right? Here they give the example of 18 meter. 18 divided by 3,
The 6.
6 meter, right? So these birds, 18 to 12, the first one, 18 meter to 12, they will survive. They will eat only food from here.
6 meters.
The insect which are present in this 6 meter will be eaten by the first one. The insect which is present in between 12 meter and 6 meter will be eaten by the second bird, and the insect which is present down in the 0 to 6 meter, that will be eaten by the third one. They are not going to go to any the other place.
How, Mr. If some bird goes to the place, what will you do?
Then we call it exceptional case. Exceptional case, like it happens. Like sometime.
Sir, they have police.
Sorry.
They have police.
I have police.
What?
He said they have police.
Maybe they will have. Because if you're living in a community, right, this is a type of community they have. So maybe, but we don't know. We don't know. It will be there, but we don't know. Another point which we are going to discuss, that is about page 102, predation, herbivory, and keystone species. Okay. So, what is predator? What is predation? What is herbivory and what is keystone species? Okay. Herbivory, you don't know keystone, you don't know predation and predator, you know, right?
Yes,
We take it in the grade. Maybe grade we take it or 6.
Predation. Mm-hmm.
Sir, the fungi, about the fungi.
Fungi, not fungi.
Fungi, sorry, fungi. Yes? But
Predation. Wait. Have you got something? Bird, fish?
yes.
Yes.
Mister,
Have you got fish?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you got birds? Birds?
Yes.
no, birds, no, I don't know.
What you're doing on it when you got it?
What is the question?
Mister, if I have fish, I will eat it.
Right? Like for example, you are going for fishing. So what are you doing? You are going to capture. You are going to catch fishes.
Yes,
And you are going. So this process is called predation. Predation means it is arrived from prey, right? Prey. So fish is what? To hunt something, right? To hunt something is called predation. To hunt something is called predation. So all organisms, almost all organisms, right? They are doing predation. Human are also doing predation, right? It's like as an adventure we are doing predation, right? Mostly, most people, that part of the world where there are more water, so they are going for fishing, right? Or for hunting the birds, for hunting different things, right? So, what is hunting in Saudi Arabia?
So,
Hunt what?
not camels or
Camel?
no meat,
No.
sheep meat, and sheep and wolves.
Forest, desert sheep.
Yes.
There are
And wolves also.
wolves.
Mister, I had the.
Camels. Serious? No. Camel.
No.
That is desert camel or what?
Mister, I had that.
No, camel, the one which you are hunting, that camel is desert one or it belongs to someone?
Hunting camels. Only sheep and wolves.
Yes, camels belong to different people. So if someone
Mister,
belongs,
I had that.
Deer.
so that are desert, right? Or forest sheep, forest buffalo, these things you can hunt. Okay, or birds or fishes. But fishes, you don't have here, birds you have, right? If you are going to hunt, so mostly in our country we are doing fishing. Right?
Mister,
And birds also.
that have colors, Mister, colors.
So now we are coming to the topic which you are going to take.
This, Mister, see, this is it.
Deer.
Deer.
Yes. Okay.
They have it.
First point we have predation. Second point we have herbivory, right? And then we have keystone, and then we have yes, that three we have to discuss. According to what size, growth, distribution, and survival. These are the 3 points which you will you have to keep in mind, right? the size of the animal, right? The growth, how they are growing, distribution, right? Like in an area, they are more or less, and survival, how they are going to survive, right? Predation, herbivory, and keystone species. How do predation and herbivory shape the community? What are the impacts of herbivory and predation on the community? How it's going to shape the community? First of all, let me tell you, predation is the hunting process, right? Starting from the organism which are able to hunt. Predation is the hunting process. While herbivory, those organisms which are herbs eating, grass eating, right? Are called herbivores, right? So the process of herbivores to the herbs, right? Eating and growing, this comes in what? This comes in herbivory. Virtually all animals, because they are not primary producer, must eat other organisms to obtain energy and nutrients. If you look to all the organisms, all the animal, they cannot prepare their own food, right? They cannot prepare their own food. Now a person, he's working in a hotel, in a kitchen, he's able to make his own food, right? Correct.
He's able.
He's able to make his own food. No, right?
In the rest of the kitchen, or
Only plants can make their own foods, right? If a person is working in a hotel, so he can take ready-made food, like he can take it from plants, he can take it from anyone, he can just cook it, right? So he cannot prepare it. He can cook it, he cannot prepare it. So, food preparation, food synthesis will occur only by the plants. Rest of the organisms, especially in the case of animals, they should be consumer. So it should be primary consumer, it should be secondary consumer or tertiary consumer, right? But the producer should be only plants. Clear? So we can get food and nutrients directly or indirectly from plants. Yet, if a group of the animals devours all available foods in the area, they will no longer have anything to eat. Like for example, we have a specific area, like let's suppose 100 kilometers, 100 square kilometer, 50 square kilometer, right? And if we have fields to grow crops, right? And if we have places to keep different animals like goat, sheep, buffalo, all these things, and if we have places to build industries, meet all the requirements of life. But in that place, the number of people increased too much. Like, let's suppose we go to 100, now it's 500. And there people eat all the food, all the animals, all the plants, right? Just in 10 days. So then what will happen? Then there will be no food. Then they cannot survive, right? So if they finish the food, they cannot survive later on. That's why predator, prey, and herbivory plants interaction are very important in shaping the community. So that is the reason that predators, prey relation, herbivory plants interaction, it's both are very important for what? It's both are very important in shaping the communities. Okay, we will take predator and prey relationship, and then the time is almost over. Okay, and in predator-prey relationship, an interaction in which one animals, the predator, right? Like let's suppose you will take yourself, right, or lion, or tiger, or dog, right, anything, right? So that will be predator. Yes, that will be predator which are going to hunt, right? Capture and feed on other animals. Like for example, you are going for hunting, so you will hunt buffalo, sheep, fish, bird, right? So you are what? You are the predators. And the animals which you hunt, goat, sheep, buffalo, right? Or bird or fish. So that is what? That is prey. And the entire process is called what? The entire process is called predation. What? It's called predation. Predators can affect the size of prey population in a community and determine the place prey can live and feed. So
it's protection or protection?
Huh?
It's protection or protection?
Predation, right? So the process of predation will affect the community of prey, right? Why? Because let's suppose in a community we have 1,000 species of fishes or 1,000 species of goat, sheep, buffalo, right? Anything which you are going to hunt. But you are hunting on regular basis, right? So if you are hunting on regular basis, so mean you are going to reduce it. They cannot reproduce quickly, right? So then you are going to reduce their population. Birds operate, for example, can play an important role in regulating the population size of mice, wolves, and other small mammals. So if you look to the birds, right? So birds, they are also eating other organisms, right? So they can control the population of mice, wolves, and other small mammals. If you have any question till this place, you can ask me now. Next lesson, we will start from herbivore plant relationship.